Slow and easy, Kevin. Slow and easy.
Pace yourself.
Pace yourself. Slow and easy. Another 400 more feet.
Is that for Roger?
400 more feet.
Easy. It takes longer when you got little short arms like this. You want to get in about a foot at a time.
I tried using long strokes and it was a little bit harder.
Long stroke.
You can use the pole.
Just imagine you're a CrossFit, Kev.
CrossFit. Who uses does CrossFit?
There's one there.
Stop it.
Woo! Got a flapper.
Another flapper.
Excuse me.
Got one in there. Got a measure.
Got a keeper.
Check her out. Measure her up. Give the good news. Good. It's good, Adrian. It's good, baby.
Woo, woo, woo.
Hey folks, and welcome to the Royal Anglers Fishing Show. I'm your host, Kevin Brannon. Caliente Cowbear, the Ghetto Gourmet, all the above. Today we're filming from inside the studio, and we have a great episode for you today. We're fishing at Catalina Island today, and it's a hoop net trip. Not only are we hoop netting for lobster, we're also doing a perch derby. And you've never seen anybody fish for perch as hard as these guys fish for perch today. It's kind of cool, using some light gear, 2-pound test, 4-pound test, kind of like a trout setup, but that's what we're gonna do until the sun goes down, and then after that, we're looking for lobster. Great trip. My buddy Adrian Cruz put it together. There's 12 of us on the boat, light load, fun times at Catalina Island. We're fishing out of the Triton out of San Pedro Sportfishing. It's a great spot to fish out of. San Pedro is great. It's one of the biggest ports in California. Cargo comes in on the big ships. I'm from Port Hueneme, so we have like the 3rd largest shipping port in the area. Well, San Pedro comes in 2nd, in LA Harbor and Long Beach. And it's amazing how much cargo comes in and out of California on these big container ships. San Francisco is the largest shipping out of California. So first you got San Francisco, then you got San Pedro, and then you have where I live at, Port Hueneme. So from port to port, it's pretty cool to be filming this episode. Also in San Pedro is a great fish market. People come from all over the place to eat at this great fish market down here in San Pedro. It's called Portugal, and it's pretty cool, man. Music, festivities, fresh seafood. There's a lot to do. Whale-watching trips. California is the base for so many great opportunities besides just fishing. With the Royal Anglers Fishing Show, we like to highlight all those different things that you could do in California besides just fishing. So if dad's out fishing, the family could be hanging out at the fish market or seeing whales or other things that they could do in the harbor while they're down there fishing. Make a whole weekend out of it. From the moment you start to leave the harbor, you see a magnificent lighthouse just to the right. Because of the fact that the boats and the ships do come in, you have to have a lighthouse to make sure that these big ships do not run ashore.
Take me back to paradise, yeah. Where the breeze is so lovely and the water feels so nice. Oh, won't you take me back to paradise, yeah. Where the people are so airy and
What we got going on there, Adrian? Tying up, just tying up. Got a fish. Fish on. Two fish. Just one.
Yeah, that. Come on, get into the corner. Get into the corner.
Get in the corner.
Well, let him get away.
Watching guys fish for perch with 2-pound test or 4-pound test, almost similar to either trout fishing or maybe surf fishing, but you're out on the boat. Normally, you don't see people fish for perch intentionally catching them with such enthusiasm, but you gotta check it out, man. I mean, we're catching little sheephead, we're catching perch, but only the perch go in the derby. And as you can see, man, it's big game fishing, even though it's small game for perch. They're really into it. Everybody's having fun using strips of squid, different little lures into the night. Today's episode is brought to you by Maui Jim Sunglasses, Fishing Syndicate Rods, Promar Ahi USA, Anglerware, Channel Island Sportfishing. It's kind of cool, man. Like I say, it's a different way of fishing. When the rock fishing season is closed, it gives us an opportunity to still do some fishing while hoop netting, because hoop netting goes from October to March. So you had a little crossover between rock fishing that is in that time of year, and when that closes, you still got a chance to catch lobster and make a fun day out of it by, again, catching perch. And what more beautiful place to hang out and catch perch is up against the side of Catalina Island watching the sunset, man. It's beautiful.
Shade on the beat.
Ready to stay with it, bro? Never give up?
Never give up.
What pound test is that?
4 pounds.
4 pound test.
Once the sun starts to set, what we do is get the gear ready to set. Lobsters primarily do a couple of crawls per evening. And when sunset hits, that's like their breakfast time. So it's good to have the hoop nets in the water down there when the lobsters come out to basically go out for breakfast. It's called a crawl. So we'll set the hoop nets up, spread them out, put the gear out. It's almost kind of like, what's the best way to put it? It's almost like if you watch Deadliest Catch, you get to see the guys getting their pods ready to throw out there. The gear that we're using tonight is exactly the same gear you've seen on other Royal Anglers episodes, using the Promar ambush net, the glow sticks, the ropes, the same stuff we get from Promar. They're using it everywhere. High quality gear makes a big difference, and that's what we got here with the Promar gear. We get that set up at sunset, then we go back and fish for some perch into the night, and then we do a couple of retrievals of the hoop nets.
Shade on the beat.
Today's episode is brought to you by Maui Jim Sunglasses, Fishing Syndicate Rods, Promar Ahi USA, Anglerware, Channel Island Sportfishing. There's 10 people out fishing on this trip, so we throw out the 10 hoop nets and we go back and retrieve one at a time. So that way each net gets to sit about the same amount of time catching a lobster, perhaps catching a lobster or two in your hoop net. The limit is 7. We're making sure we're following all the guidelines, the lobster gauges that we're using, exactly what you need from the Department of Fish and Wildlife to make sure there's no small lobsters. Conservancy always starts with us in making sure that we're using the right measuring devices to ensure we have a sustainable fishery out here in the Channel Islands National Marine Sanctuary.
How was that?
A lot of hard work, but reward, nice size.
Nice with a nice filet mignon.
Yeah.
I say hoop netting is very similar to like pulling up a treasure chest. You never know what's gonna be in there. Could be a couple of lobster, could be a mother load with, I've seen up to like 22 lobsters in a net one time. So it's kind of like a little kid, you're pulling it up, you don't know what's gonna be in that treasure chest, and when you get it up, either you got doinked with 0, or you got 1 or 2, or you got your limit in 1 pull. But what we do is we try different depths and see what's working, different baits sometimes. Some baits might be more oily, like fish heads, or mackerel, something like that. I've seen people use chicken. Today we're using some salmon heads, so that's really, really good, but the bait is up to you to what works best. But we're dropping it down using different depths, anywhere between 100 and 300 feet, hand pulling them in. That's a workout on its own.
Any predictions, Ricky? What do you got? 2?
1.
Looks good, Ricky. Looks real good. Looks real good.
Oh, damn.
All right, drop it back down.
It's yeah.
That's good, Ricky.
That's a nice.
Woo!
Nice bugs in there.
Score! Right here, Ricky. Yeah. Attaboy, pretty Ricky.
Ricky, you suck.
How do you have to measure any of those?
No, yeah, one of them's short. At least 3 or 4.
Shorter than a midget on his knees. Now I sling keys. It's about that bug life.
anglers is always about catching that memory. It's not always about catching that big trophy fish in some exotic location. Even though Catalina, to me, growing up, has always seemed like a great exotic location, it's really only about 100 miles down the coast. We catch different sized fish, different species of fish, catching memories with buddies, making fun of each other, pulling up the hoop nets, pitching in on each other's help to, if you get tired out, you know, maybe somebody can come in and help you pull up the hoop net. The crew is always right there making sure you know, to give you a hand if you need help bringing up your hoop net. It's just great. And to be out there with your buddies, watching the sunset at Catalina Island, no better way to make, you know, catch those memories than something just as simple as catching some perch and hanging out at Catalina, catching lobster. Let's go.
Yeah. Open shop. Let's go. I'm ready. Shade, you ready?